Hello, darlings. Hello, everyone. God bless you, each and every one. How are we? Well, I've been doing some homework. I have been doing some homework. Uh, so I thought we would get together and start talking about Casey conceded. Yes. I think that the conversation everybody is talking about right now is, should you leave the United States? This is the real conversation. How much money do you need to get out of the United States? Is it practical to stay in the United States? Is it going to get better in the United States? Is it going to get worse in the United States? Are we going to stand like frozen prey, horrified, waiting for what else they plan to do to us? Or are we done? That's only you can answer that question for yourself. Well, the question is not, can you afford to leave? That's the wrong question. The question is, can you afford to stay? Because the truth of the matter is, you'd be much better off in the Philippines than here in the United States. You can live comfortably in the Philippines for $1,200 a month. You can live like a human being for $1,200 a month in the Philippines. Can you live like a human being for $1,200 a month in the United States? So I don't think people realize how powerful the dollar is or how rich you are outside the United States. And so there are other options. You don't have to stay here. You can leave. You don't have to put up with the United States. So I've been doing a lot of research on it. And I thought it might be nice if we get together and just as a community talk about, we do have people living all over the world right now that watch this channel. But many are Americans and they're afraid. They're afraid for their future. They're afraid for their economic future. They're afraid for their children. They're afraid that they're going to lose basic benefits. They're afraid that they're going to lose their Social Security. It's a lot of stuff to be afraid of. And so I personally think the best thing we can do is to just be forearmed. Is it going to get worse? Is it going to get better or is it going to get worse? That's the conversation we have to be having right now. Do you think I think we just have to have a really honest conversation. Do you think, given what you have witnessed in the last couple of years, that America is getting better or getting worse? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Hi, Annie. We're not doing private readings. That's on Saturday. My apologies for the cough. Yes, Whimsy was vaping. I was vaping. That is why I have a cough. I got upset, and November 3rd, I went and I bought a vape pen, and it makes me cough because it causes my nose to run. I did not vape today, so hopefully the cough will go away. I'm not dying of a rare disease. I'm just upset about the election and started smoking weed. And when I smoke weed, I cough. That is all that's happening to me. I'm not dying of a rare disease. Now, I don't like to smoke weed. I like to be clean and sober. So this is not a good thing. It's not a good thing that I got so distraught I went to the dispensary. We must stop this. So I'm pulling back from because the horrible has already happened, so I don't need to smoke weed anymore, right? It was just to get me through the last couple days. So I'll stop and then the cough will go away. The cough always goes away when I stop. But I stopped this morning, so it should already be better because the cough doesn't last very long after I quit smoking. But that's what's been going on. Okay. I just might as well just tell you guys. I've been smoking weed. All right. I'm upset. I live in Oregon. It's legal. Didn't break any laws. I'm just upset. So let's talk about this. We have 153 people here. Not the fact that I was smoking weed. I'm cutting it out. I got it out of my system. Because you can only be upset for so long. Why am I upset? I'm upset because Trump won the election. And that is causing me to have to come to some truths about the United States. Trump won the election and he has been found liable for raping a woman in a department store. So I want us all to think about that. Donald Trump was found liable for raping a woman. He grabbed a woman in a department store and used his penis as a weapon and forced sex on her. He assaulted her genitalia using his penis as a weapon, and now he's coming to the White House. What does that tell me about America? What does that tell me about America's values and ethics? What does that tell me about the values and ethics of the people that are supporting him, stumping for him, endorsing him? People like everybody in the Republican Party. What does that tell me about their ethics? What does it tell me about Elon Musk and his ethics? He raped a woman. He was found liable for rape. He organized an insurrection against the United States that led to the deaths of several people. And now he's walking back into the White House. So that tells me that our country is a bad country. This is not a good country, because if this was a good country, he'd be in a prison. The poor people, the serfs who he manipulated, who got arrested for January 6th, who got brainwashed because of QAnon and everything else, they're rotting in jail cells. But him and the people that organized it, well, him mostly, but he's walking into the White House where he has now been told that he can probably do worse than that. So he's raped people, including hanging out with Epstein as his wingman, possibly involved in human trafficking through Trump talent management. And he's walking into the White House January 22nd. Is that right, Janet? So again, if you are an American and that sits okay with you, Trump is great. He's going to be good for the economy. You are not people that I want to associate with. And this is not a country whose values represent my values. So I have to make a serious decision about leaving, because it's obvious to me that the American justice system doesn't work, that he is above the law, that he can do whatever he wants, and that he's just getting started. I don't have to put up with it, and you don't have to put up with it. Has anybody been on X, Twitter lately? It's a bunch of violent men propping up rape and violence against women. They think it's a joke. They think you're just a child. If you're a female, you're nothing but a little kid. You're not an adult. You're not an equal. You're just a joke to them. Rape is legal. No one's going to prosecute the perpetrator. And if you try to help an 11-year-old child who's been raped, you could go to jail if the child gets pregnant, right? So this is not my country. I mean, the bottom line is the last couple days, I came to realize that America is not my country. You're not my country. You don't share my values. You don't share my ethics. The legal system doesn't reflect my legal system. The way you allow criminals to take over the country, I don't belong here. This is not my country. These are not my values. So I have to figure out where to go, where I can go live in a country where we have, democracy is not this unstable. I mean, the truth of the matter is people are joke about Elon Musk. Is he a genius? Is he an idiot? Is he a genius? Is he an idiot? He's a genius. Let's not make any mistakes about it. People that say, "Oh, he's not," yes, he is. That guy's brain, he will. I mean, he is an autistic genius. Now, the biggest problem people had with people weren't that afraid of Donald Trump. They were afraid that geniuses would get a hold of Donald Trump, and then you would basically be Donald Trump with a 200 IQ. And that's pretty much what's happened. You now have the worst possible situation, which is the psychopath with the high IQ, who's the richest person on the planet because he is a genius, now is in control of everything. And unfortunately, the genius is in control of everything, hates women. I mean, I think we can pretty much say comfortably that Elon Musk truly hates women. He basically has said that women shouldn't be allowed to vote because they don't have enough testosterone, right? So he hates women. All you have to do is talk to his ex-wife or his ex-partner Grimes, and they'll tell you just how much he hates women. He hates women. He thinks you're inferior. He thinks you need to be controlled. He has no problem with rape. He thinks rape's no big deal. And if you look at who Trump supporters are, they're all convicted rape people or people that have been accused of behaving like this. So they all run on the same track. Matt Gaetz, Donald Trump, Elon Musk has had accusations against him. All the celebrity men that are flocking to him. Who's the British comedian? Brandt. All a bunch of men on power trips, right? So it just doesn't represent me anymore. In terms of what the research has shown from me trying to figure out where do I go from here, since this is not my country. It's not my country. I'm sorry. You don't share my values. I believe in a woman's right to choose. I don't believe a woman's vagina is the property of the state. I don't believe it was the property of the feds and then you could just sell it to the next bidder and sell it downriver to the state. Yeehaw! I don't believe my vagina is state property. I need to go to a country that recognizes that. I just don't belong in this country anymore. I should also say that I've spent many years living outside the US, so this wouldn't be the first time I move outside the US. But there's a lot. Russell Brand, there's another one that became a Republican. They've all been accused of something, and they're just a bunch of rapists. That's all this party is. It's just a bunch of rapists hanging out at a perpetual frat party. Matt Gaetz, His name was submitted by Elon Musk for AG. What does that tell you about these people? It tells you that these people think that raping people, kids, is no big deal. They don't care. You're not a human for them. That's what you need to come to terms with. You're not a person. Women are, no, sweetheart, you're not a person. You're a woman. You're an object that can be bought and sold and bartered. Your chattel, your property, and this incoming administration sees it as property that can be bought and sold and passed, sold from city to state, from feds to the state. I'm an Israeli citizen, so people have said, "Why don't you just move back to Israel?" The problem is I've got two passports, and both of them are MAGA. I go back to Israel, and then what am I stuck with? I'm stuck with more people like Donald Trump. Then I have to deal with Netanyahu, right? And all the religious right-wing nut jobs that think that Jesus is coming back, right? The Hucklebees, who's become the new ambassador to Israel. It's even worse there than here, right? So that's not going to help. In terms of my ethics and values, Iceland scored really high with me. Oh, I've got a little markup. Iceland scored really high for me, but you need I think you have to have earn $7,200 a month in your business to get permission to stay for 90 days. So every 90 days, you have to go and give them $80 or whatever, saying you're working digitally there and showing proof that you're earning a certain set. It's too expensive. It's not a good place to retire. If you're on a fixed income, or if you're a feminist and you're looking for a safe harbor and you want to get your kids to safe harbor because you're worried about this sick freaks, these perverts getting control. And let's be clear here about what I'm saying, since people here want the truth. They don't want anything to be rosy. I think it's going to get worse. I think we will see the US dollar slip in its strength. So you may want to also be thinking about, if you have a portfolio, diversifying with foreign companies, because we could see serious economic collapse in the US. So I'm looking at investing in foreign coin, divesting of US investments. I'm 61. I have to renew my lease in August, so I'll probably be out of the States by August. If he gets sworn in January, 100% I'm leaving. Yeah, why not invest in Bitcoin, since nobody's loyal to the US dollar or the American way of life anymore? So why not pull everything out and put it into something like Bitcoin? I know that Elon Musk wants you to put it into Bitcoin, since he is the king of Bitcoin. He owns a third of it. He's the king of the world. So I'm going to sit back and just collect money and start to slowly get rid of stuff in my apartment. I'm going to start just downsizing as much as I can. I'm downsizing as much as I can. And I will know more after January 20th. But I'm not going to renew a lease on this place. Other people don't think that it's going to affect their life. They're like living in a small town somewhere obscure. It's like, this is not going to affect my life. I'm just going to go back to reading my book. And that might be the best thing to do. But my interpretation of the events of the last couple of years is that this country is finished. The fact that Donald Trump could even organize an insurrection in broad daylight and have the Proud Boys meeting in the Oval Office and then attempt to burn down our capital in an insurrection, to take down the capital, and then be reelected, our country's finished. It's over. All we have to do is just open our eyes and look. And part of my job as a remote viewer is to see things as they are, not as I would wish them to be. And it's obvious to me that the rule of law in the United States does not protect women and children. And furthermore, it's working to harm women and children, that it is a threat to the safety of women and children, particularly Black women, women of color, who will be dying more now in childbirth and due to pregnancy-related conditions. This is a way that the state can legally kill more Black women. This is objective reality. Who is paying the price? Well, we're seeing an increase in mortality of Black women, which has always been high in childbirth. So I'm here to just give people the facts. Our country is finished. An insurrectionist is walking into the White House. A rapist is walking into the White House. You're free to do what you like. You are free to do what you like. You can stay and fight, but I personally think that the Republicans have shown us who they are. They like rape. Rape is good. Rape's fun. They like rape. They like human trafficking of children, clearly. Because Donald Trump used to traffic people, and that's easy to prove. He was bringing people in from all over the world for Trump modeling, and he was setting those women up with wealthy people. Him and Epstein both. Epstein had a program to get models for wealthy business people, and that may have been his relationship to Elon Musk, supplying prostitutes for wealthy men. And it was, some guys liked little girls, some liked adult women. Trump tended to prefer women that were his own age, though he has raped children also, according to testimonies. And he also supplied probably prostitutes for Bill Gates, Elon Musk, and all these, supplying, because we're not people, because women are not people. We are toys, we are playthings. And if you look at the Anatomy of Evil by Hannah Arendt, this is really evil personified, because evil is when you stop seeing your victim as a human being. And what we can see with the Trump administration and with the Republicans is that women are not fully human. And once you have made that leap in your mind, and you have come to believe that the other is not fully human, it just becomes that much easier to kill them. And the bottom of the barrel is Black women in this country, right? They don't care that 64,000 children were born of rape and that most of the mothers were underage. Many women of color, children of color. They don't care. It's not that I'm being mean to the incoming administration. It's not that I'm being mean to Donald Trump and hurting his itsy bitsy little teeny feelings. He doesn't care. What did he tell the 12-year-old girl after he raped her and she sobbed? How's that for a first sexual encounter? Being tied up and raped while Epstein watches and you're 12 years old. Donald Trump did that. He went to a party, he tied up a 12-year-old kid, and he raped him. First sexual experience of that child. Terrified she was going to get pregnant, he told her to go have an abortion. Why? Because she's not a person. It was just entertainment. Fun to rape a little kid, tie up a little kid, rape her, while Epstein and everybody else at the party got to watch. She wasn't a person, she was a party favor. So again, you have to ask yourself, do you want to stay in a country being run by that guy? I don't. I think America's finished. I think it's over. They made their choice. They went with a rapist insurrectionist and human trafficking monster. That's what they chose. So now I have to make my choice, and you have a choice to make. Is it here or the Philippines? Bulgaria. Bulgaria is safe for women. They say it's actually very nice if you want to live in Europe. Portugal, pretty safe for women and financially reasonable. Do you want to stay? You have options. You are not a victim. And that would be what I would say to people. You don't have to stay. You can leave. You are not trapped. You can dismantle your life here. You can get on a plane and say, forget this crap. I'm moving to Manila, or I'm moving to some nice village in Bulgaria where I can get a very nice apartment for $200 a month and just watch the train wreck from Europe. You don't have to stay. You'll have 3 times as much money as you have right now if you leave. It's expensive. The rents are through the roof. And the people that run the country are bad people. So you don't need to stay. You can do telework for 4 hours a day and live very comfortably in another country. There's plenty of jobs. It's data analysis. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of jobs where you work from home 4 hours a day, and you could have a very nice life as an expat in Mazatlan, Mexico tomorrow if you wanted it. You don't have to stay. That's the first thing that I would say to people. Thank you, Hawaii Bound. What are your thoughts on Japan? In terms of like where I'm looking at, Japan was one of the first places I looked at. I've been to Japan twice. Sendai is fantastic for shopping and beautiful and more affordable than Tokyo if you're looking for a place where you want to get a nice studio for under $500 a month. And there are some nice visa options for people in Tokyo or in Japan if you want to go to Japan. Thailand, you can get some affordable housing in Bangkok, but Chiang Mai, what is it? How do you pronounce that name? You can get a really nice apartment for under $400 if you choose to live in outside of Bangkok. Don't buy. Do not buy. That's a big warning to everybody. People think, oh my God, I got to move to Portugal and then I got to buy a house and then I got Is my Wi-Fi working? Yes. Now I've switched over to, they're doing repairs on my Wi-Fi, so it might be off and on with the Wi-Fi. We've been having a ton of problems with the Wi-Fi, so I'm sorry about that. Yeah, Elon Musk is a mad genius and he's a threat to the entire world. That's my conclusion. So how do we take out Elon Musk? 1,000 paper cuts. He's the monster that we constructed, and Elon Musk is the monster that we must deconstruct. Yeah, sorry, they're working on my cable. See what happens when I don't vape. See, I stop coughing. No, but yeah, so Elon Musk is the monster that we created, and he is the monster that we must dismantle. And you start by not giving him any money. You don't give him attention. because he's a narcissist, and you know how narcissists love that sort of thing. And you divest. So I would strongly encourage everybody to get off Twitter and X and to move towards Blue Sky and other platforms. So the first thing is to divest from anything that has to do with him. Don't give him any money. Don't give him any attention. That's the best thing that we can do, particularly as women, is to divest. The other thing is to think about divesting from the United States, since the United States has declared war on women, and particularly if you look at the data, a war on women of color. If you look at the number of women of color that are now dying because of pregnancy-related diseases. So this is not my country. Those are not my values. Those are not my ethics. So I don't see why we should be staying and giving them tax money. I think we should leave. Go to a country that likes women, that considers women people. Like Iceland. Iceland considers women people. Norway considers women people. Finland considers women people. You know, you don't need to be here. Question is, how do you leave? How do you get out? The first thing you do is you get a plan. You start researching, okay, where can I comfortably live where I'm going to be treated like a human being and it's not going to cost me $1 million? Well, I could move to Ecuador. Ecuador is very safe. There are some wonderful communities there. I could move to the Philippines. Very affordable, the Philippines. Lots of expat retirees in the Philippines. If you want to experience life in the Philippines, you may enjoy that. Mexico has a new female president, and they seem to be very, very progressive. So Mexico is your cheapest and closest option. Canada is expensive and too difficult. I wouldn't recommend an immigration there. You don't want to up and leave. You know, I have a cat. I have a family. You want to slowly dismantle. Like the first thing is to start getting rid of stuff. You don't need to tell people anything. Just like, I'm downsizing. Oh. You can also look at transferring some of your money through foreign exchange accounts. And then if you do visit Mazatlan and go on a little vacation, you might want to open up a bank account and start transferring a little money. It can be a very slow process. A lot is pointing to me going to Mexico. Yeah. A lot is pointing to me go. I'm in Blue Sky, by the way. I left Twitter. If you guys want to connect with me, Dr. Whimsy Anderson, check me out on Blue Sky if you guys want to check my post. Yeah, Wendy, you sound like you live in a pretty great part of the world, and you're pretty close to Canada already. So all you have to do is call over the lake. Hey, over there in Canada. Heyo, it's me in the Adirondacks. It's Wendy. Heyo. You're already pretty close to Wendy is as close to Canada as you can get without actually being a Canadian. So I think that's okay. Yeah, Whimsy, Dr. Whimsy Anderson on Blue Sky. Canada is expensive, and some of the most expensive real estate in the world, like Vancouver, BC, if you're renting, is impossible. So, you know, it would be nice. I grew up in Vancouver, I lived in Seattle. We used to go to Vancouver all the time. And so it would be like coming home because I was born in Bremerton, Washington, Seattle. So it's only a couple hours from home. So it would be very nice if I would just be home. I would just go to Vancouver. But it's not my cup of tea. It's too expensive. I'd like to have more money in my pocket. The great thing about moving to a small village in someplace like Mexico is that you're going to have more money at the end of the day. I saw some pretty decent apartments in Mazatlan for, $500 a month. And this one is $1,500. I'm in a room that's 15. My studio here is 1,550, right? So if I were to move to Mazatlan, I would already be saving $1,000 on my rent if I got like a studio. So there's $1,000 in my pocket right there. And I'd probably give up my American phone and probably get some kind of an international phone or something that I could work with you guys that way. The happiest country in the world, probably Norway, which it's easy to get a visa to Norway. If you do feel like I can't take it anymore, I'm moving to Norway. That is definitely an option. Norway is open for business if you're an American. And that is something I've thought about is Norway. Spain and France are options. It's not particularly difficult to, believe it or not, to immigrate to France. You need to have show an income of $24,000 a year. $24,000 a year. So if you're on Social Security, $1,200 a month, and then you get a part-time job, 4 hours a day, doing something, then that, or even less, bring in an extra $1,000 a month or something, doing some side gig like babysitting or something. Or teaching English, something online if you want to work from home. People do like Etsy to bring in like $1,000 a month. Then you could have a very happy life for yourself, living in the south of France and like Bordeaux. There's some affordable homes. I found some nice studios in Bordeaux for like $750 a month. Parts of Spain. If you get out of the large cities like Madrid, you could live pretty comfortably on about $2,500 a month. Yeah, $2,500 a month. You could do okay in the south of France. I think it's so shocking and horrible, the insurrection. It's such a shocking thing that we all witnessed, the insurrection. And the fact that that man could have the freedom to walk back into the White House has answered every question that I need answered about this country, what it stands for, the rule of law, justice, what it thinks of women. And I don't want to live here anymore. So I'm leaving. And I'm dismantling very slowly. Like I said, this place stays until August. I've got a lease until August, and then I will leave. And if things don't change, it will probably be Mexico. Even though, who wants to move to Mexico in August? Maybe I'll go spend 3 months in Norway first. Got to figure out what to do with my cat. Tahiti. There's an idea. I don't know if it's feasible. They might have visa requirements. I don't know if that's an option. But if you like the South Pacific, then Malaysia is where people are recommending retirement, because you can do I looked at rooms to rent in Lumpur, is that how you pronounce it? And I saw some very nice studios there for under $500 a month. So if you wanted to retire, a lot of people are saying go to Malaysia. You'll be treated right, and they care about people. They're good people. You'll be treated right. CBS News is supposed reporting many Secret Service and ambulance leaving with the past hour. You mean Mar-a-Lago before? Yeah, they did a emergency run for for a vice president. It was an emergency thing in the event of an assassination of the VP, but it wasn't. It wasn't for Donald Trump. It was for the VP. Kelly Loeffler, Secretary of yeah, so Putin is feeling this is no, there's nothing about any kind of emergency with anybody being killed or anything, or any CBS News, whatever. There was a dry run through of the vice president's motor in the event of an emergency. And it was like a 2-hour drill, and then they did at Mar-a-Lago, and then they completed the drill. I don't even think that Trump was there. Is that wishful thinking for people? Yeah. So, speaking of astrocartography, a lot of tarot readers are leaving because they can just work from online. You're moving to Mexico? Well, we should hang out together because I'm probably moving to Mexico too. The inmates are in charge of the. Yeah, I need to live in a functioning country, not one where rapists are in charge and murderers and killers and the state owns your vagina. No, I'm gone, and I'm taking my money with me. And I would strongly encourage every other woman with a degree and education to leave and take your children with you. Take your money, take your sources, and take your brain, and let's see a female brain drain from the United States. We need to get out. No, we're done talking. You've gone too far. And we no longer have a relationship. I don't want to have a relationship with Donald Trump. So I'm leaving. I don't want to have a relationship with Elon Musk. I thought I was going to have a relationship with a peace proposal because he was talking about supporting kindness over confrontation. This is before I knew he was a crazy racist. So I was very excited. I thought I had a mentor. Of course, I thought he was my mentor because it was my thesis that he was promoting. So who's going to be my mentor? Who's the teacher who's going to be promoting my thesis and funding it? Elon Musk, right? So of course he was my mentor. I was hoping he would be a mentor. But this man cannot have female students because he hates women. He's not capable of having students that are women. I want I want to be mentored by someone who likes women as people. He did not steal my. There's this rumor going around that Elon Musk stole the Oasis One. By the way, he hasn't responded to that. No, no, he didn't. No, I gave the Oasis One free of charge, all the data collection, everything. It was a gift to the Israeli Defense Forces, as a gift to the state of Israel, my data collection, in the hopes that a two-state solution, resolution, and peace could be found for the Gaza-Israel conflict. And Elon got a copy because he's an engineer, and so obviously he needs to see stuff, even though he's a horrible person. No. So he needed to see stuff because of the design. Because when I wrote the thesis, I drew a design, and the design and the concept was given to Elon Musk as a gift. So the rebuild is happening because there's a lot of money. They got tired of the war. They got tired of having to keep going into Gaza and clean out the Iranian influence. So now they'll do the rebuild. Yes, they'll do the rebuild. It'll be wonderful, wonderful. They'll use the Oasis One concept. And then because men are the way, see, what's interesting about the Oasis One peace proposal that I wrote is how many people on the left were trying to stop it because they didn't understand what the hell was happening. Stop it. You're going to steal the land and Kushner's going to take over. And she's going, people really, so people were, this was a legitimate complaint that came up, was that people were talking, they didn't know what the hell they were talking about. And instead of helping the situation, they were actually preventing the clearing out of the area so that Oasis One could happen. So that was the criticism of it. But it'll look like this. This is a really primitive design, but what it captures is what the migration pattern is going to look like in Israel and Gaza over the next 40 to 50 years. The pink is the Israelis immigrating into Gaza. These are aid workers, employees, etc. The blue are the Gazans moving into Oasis to get job training, etc. And then you can see also the blue goes from Oasis to Israel. That's a natural immigration policy. I mean, that's a natural immigration that would happen, just like if you had Canada and the United States. It looks kind of like this. So they would go work in the Oasis. They would maybe be born in the Oasis, and then they would grow up with really positive friends who are Israelis. It's the in between. And then they might get work visas or permission to go and live in Israel permanently. And that's why the blue goes from Oasis to Israel. These are just what we observe naturally when people are allowed to have controlled flow of migration. And then the orange is the pro-nations. The orange comes out of the Oasis, and these are the children that are born of the Oasis. Their parents got a job in the Oasis, the peace zones. And now these are children of the first children born of the peace zones. And because they have Oasis status, they would easily be given visas to live in either Israel or Gaza because they were born in Oasis. So this is what the immigration pattern will most likely look like for the rebuild of Gaza. What people didn't like is they didn't like the people that were involved with the rebuild of Gaza. You know, they didn't like the fact that Kushner was involved. They didn't like the fact that all these right-wing nut jobs were involved. And so that caused some of the concerns. But whether the right wing or people think that they're going to make money off it, which they probably do, that's cool. The bottom line is that this is how it's probably has to happen if we hope to have peace in the Middle East, and we need to. And so people are going to want to have credit. You know, the right wingers are going to want to have credit. Bernie Sanders wants to be involved. Here's more elaborate articles on the Oasis One Trump peace. Now they're calling it the Trump peace plan, because he's absorbing some of this through Elon. And you can see here, Friedman described the plan as follows. The plan for a two-state solution that put peace to prosperity, a vision to improve the lives of the Palestinian and Israeli people. They would annex 30% where the Israelis are living. But what's interesting here, I thought this was kind of interesting. This is the Oasis One here. Trump proposed that Gaza and the West Bank be connected by a combination of above-ground roads and tunnels, but only after Hamas is removed from leadership in Gaza. And he insisted back then the Palestinian capital would be that. Okay, yeah. So that's the Oasis design. So I was hoping it would be through the Democrats. The truth is, but the development would have happened whether it would have been under a Biden administration or under a Trump administration, because it's an international decision. So the truth of the matter is whoever's in the White House would get credit for it probably. It's just that because Trump is there, he's going to get credit, and he's going to want to have his fingers all over it with his people and control it the way he's going to control it. And I have a problem with that, but no, Elon didn't steal it. It was given to him by the IDF. Video game controller looks forlorn in between the words. Try again. Oh, Pat Schill. Hi, Pat. Thank you so much for that lovely donation. So, what do you think you guys are going to do? You're going to leave? You're going to stay? You're going to stay and fight for your country as the ship goes down? Oh, yeah, I got to get a SIM card. Well, I hope my phone is not locked. What if my phone's locked? Yes, that might be a problem. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead. We'll do the impasse prayer and then we can do some blitzes about it. I just thought we could hang out and talk about this conversation. Do you plan on living and staying? How I've been looking at it, meditating, is to see things as they are. One of the things I've noticed people do when we meditate is we kind of construct our minds into all manner of thinking so that we can reason out the insanity. We tell ourselves, well, maybe it's something metaphysical. Maybe the Palladians made it happen, right? We tell ourselves stories. But if I were to give you the truth with as much objective reality as I can, from what I'm seeing, it looks like our country's finished, and basically it got taken over by greedy people that overrode the rule of law, and they all just wanted to take for themselves, and that's what happened. Thank you, Pat Schill. Thank you for that donation. And that it was really greed that took out America. Greed and compromised politicians, etc. But if you needed any proof that this country was finished, this guy getting elected after January 6th and after he was found liable for rape, I don't need more proof than that. I just need to leave. Well, most of you will be very happy in Mexico. I think I'll station myself in Mexico, and then I will do some traveling. I'll spend like 3 months in Bulgaria, 3 months in Norway, 3 months here, 3 months there, just so that I can figure out how it feels. Who knows? Maybe I'll come back to the United States. Maybe they'll save themselves. But if I was a woman with children, I wouldn't stay. Whatever you do, do not buy outside the U.S. We're talking about renting and laying low for 4 years. Okay. See, my cough went away when I stopped smoking weed. Guess we're worried about my weed cough. Yes. Okay. Let's do the empath's prayer. If you need a healing for yourself or those you love, please let us know who you are, and we will include you in our prayers. Yeah, I'm just going to rent a furnished room even. You know, there are people, I'm sure in Bulgaria, that'll rent a room to an old lady for a couple $100 a month while I just go and explore Bulgaria for a couple of months. Yeah, go out and explore the space, as they say. Yeah. Hi, Julie. Hopefully you're doing okay, Julie. You're feeling all right. It's not elitist. We're saying you have to have $1,200 a month to leave the country. Do you have $1,200 a month? If you are an American on Social Security, you hit the jackpot because most of the world isn't living on $1,200 a month. That's what we're saying. That what's elitist is to stay in the United States when you can't afford it and not accept the fact that you can't afford it and that it's actually going to be getting a lot worse, in which case you probably should think about dismantling and reinvesting somewhere where your money is going to get farther. My sister's not leaving. She has children. Whoops, I just lost my. Oh, no, I'm still here. I was worried that I lost my. Snap. I keep getting disconnected. Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys, to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively, as a community, we say, Amen. And may those of you who have requested healing for yourselves and those you love, be able to receive healing both physically, mentally, and spiritually, heart, mind, and soul. And together as a community, we come together and we say, Amen. Yeah, people keep thinking that we're talking about running off to the French Riviera with a couple $1,000,000, and we're just this elitist. Well, honey, I got a studio here. I ain't rich. We're talking about regular people on fixed incomes of $1,200 a month, renting a place for a couple of years in some place like the Philippines, which is, a third the price of the United States, and just getting out of Dodge because things are crazy right now. They haven't touched our Social Security yet. Yeah, Norway is really welcoming to expats that are digital nomads. Like, I can get a pretty good visa for Norway. I can get a good visa. I can live anywhere, which is nice because I have the digital nomad and because I'm a physician and I have some savings. I do have more options than other people. But like, no place is perfect. Norway's expensive. They're worried about Putin. I just got back from Sweden. Part of why I was in Sweden was I've been looking shopping for a place to live. To be honest with you guys, I love Japan. I feel very comfortable there. Yeah, I feel very comfortable there. Sweden was nice. It was very, very clean. Sweden was something I was considering. I did visit Sweden. I visited Ireland. I checked out Ireland. It was too expensive. So I said I nixed Ireland. I don't think I'm moving to Sweden. Sweden's nice, but it's not necessarily cheaper. And I don't think it would be a place where I would feel comfortable retiring on a fixed income. Yeah. So let's go ahead and do some blitzes. We will blitz away. Yeah, I really like. Do you guys like what's her name? Uh, I've been watching. What's her name? Uh, Sarah Cooper. Sarah Cooper. Yeah, she's really funny. She's when you're want to make fun of Donald Trump, watch Sarah Cooper. But so who here besides me thinks you're leaving the United States? Am I the only one? Who here is seriously like me, starting to get your ducks in a row? Italy is a very good option, yes. But there are fascists in Italy. The head of the Italian fascist is good friends with Elon Musk, so that ought to tell you the problems with Italy. Great food, though. I would say with my personality and ease of subways, if you're someone who is on a fixed income, you don't drive, you want to be around people your own age. Japan has an aging population, a lot of people over the age of 55, and it's cheap. There are plenty of places to live that are cheap. And the public transportation is excellent, so you don't have to get a car. And to be comfortable as a retiree in some place like Kyoto, I would recommend a retired salary of $2,500 to $3,000 a month. If you're looking at, like, I looked at Kyoto. That was one of the towns I looked at. They don't want to be outpriced, though. That's the other thing, because there's been some arguments about prices, how prices are going up, and there's been some protest about it. Here's some places. Let's take a look at what the price right now for Kyoto is. So 69,000 yen, fourth floor. What are we looking for exactly? See, I look at these things. 64,000 yen, 50,000 deposit, 65,000. All right, convert yen to US dollar. Okay. So that's $419 a month. If you decide I can't take it anymore, Dr. Whimsy, you got me. I'm out. I'm gonna go. I'm doing a 3-month rental in Kyoto. Here is a classic, apartment, 425, 425, 425. Here's 425. Yeah, so you're looking at this is 400. 400. Yeah, so you're looking at, if you decide to go somewhere like Kyoto and you just like, I got to get the hell out of here. I can't take it. A round trip ticket will run you about 900 to 1,000. Say you save a couple $1,000 and just like, I'm out. This would be a good option. I would recommend, go to Kyoto you can always renew your visa as a retiree. Doesn't cost very much. If you're talking about some place like Malaysia, it's going to be a lot cheaper if you go to some place like Malaysia. Yeah. So if you rent an apartment in Malaysia, you're talking about even less. And Philippines, even less. Again, it's what do you want for your life? You're going to have much better options in some place like Malaysia than you are in the United States. So if you convert RM to US, let's see. So they're saying this one here is running $1,300 a month. That's $291 a month. You can get a pretty nice 1 bedroom. Oh, this is a 3 bedroom. Here's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath for less than $300 a month. So if you say moved there with a friend, you'd each be paying $150 a month. Yeah. Here's another one, you know, $200-300 a month. Here's $200-300 a month, 3-bedroom, Malaysia. If you decided to buy in Malaysia, some people do decide to buy, you could, you know, rent part of it out to an expat. Or you could start renting or doing Airbnb too if you do decide to do an investment. But yeah, you could get yourself a very nice apartment for under $300 a month if you decide to go someplace like Malaysia. Same with Philippines. You're looking at similar price point. Again, these are just options for you if you're looking. Like I've been doing this for the last couple of weeks because it's getting pretty serious with me, right? Like I can't live in this country if that guy is in the White House. I'm sorry, you guys. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So here are your options if you decide to move to the Philippines and say, I can't take it anywhere, Dr. Anderson. Can I sleep on your couch while I figure it out? So 20,000. Okay. Let's see. What is Philippine money called again? Filipino dollars? All right. So a Philippine peso is 20,000. So that would be $339 a month. So when you're looking at these apartments, if you decide to be in the Manila area, you're looking at about $350 a month, give or take. Here's one for $150 a month. Here's one for less than $100 a month. Here's a room for rent if you're just looking to get away and you're like, I don't have a lot of money and you just need a room. A lot of poor, starving students do that. So just a room to rest your head, be $110 a month. Yeah. Home away from home in Cebu. Here's a fully furnished transient loft house with 2 bedrooms. That looks gorgeous to me. For 21,000. And like, you know, if you've got a friend that is willing to rent with you, that's great. You can get that for $356. This one here. Crime is very low. It's considered one of the safest countries for women if you do like to travel. I like this one because I love that white, and this will run you about $250-300 a month, under 300. Well, I've heard good things about San Rafael. This is a nice tourist destination. You could get a beautiful place there for under 300. Yeah, I mean, like people just feel like it's too expensive to live in the States, and they're being priced out. That's the bottom line. People are just, you know, why pay $1,500 here when I can go live in a villa in the Philippines for 300? Yeah. Yeah. Don't make life impossible for Americans, and then Americans won't leave. All right. So, in terms of Trump and the election, we could go ahead and just see how he's doing today. We could go ahead and just look at his energy. But, I mean, think about it. Really sit and meditate on it. What does this say about the United States and the stability of our country that a Russian operative and a rapist and treasonous insurrectionist has gotten reelected and is taking over our country? A man who has overturned Roe v. Wade. Do we really feel like we have a home here anymore? And I would argue that many Americans think that we don't. Yeah, nothing changes. Everything would be, nothing at all changes. Would still be whimsy. Everything's the same. It's just that now I'm posting from Mexico instead of Portland. Nothing changes, nothing at all. All right, let's take a look at how Donald Trump is doing. He's a couple months away from the presidency. Is his health okay? What about his advisors? This is, they have created an alternate reality just like Russia. That's the other thing. That's the other reason why I got to get out of this country. We all saw what happened on January 6th, and they're oh, no, war is peace. And we've always been at war with Oceania. I mean, it's like the gaslighting is so profound. I got to get away from these people for my own mental health. I mean, can you imagine dating somebody like Elon Musk, where he's just the level of psychopathy? Oh no, he was just sending it down to the States. Oh, but he didn't say that, dear. I mean, the level of malevolence and psychopathy in these people. Can you imagine actually having a relationship with someone this freaking evil? I get rape vibes. Every time I go into that energy, I feel this creepy, slithery energy is on top of me, and it wants to get in and do creepy things. And it's like, you know what? I'm out. I don't want this. Sure, come hang out. Cozumel, horrible rental costs now in Cozumel, Mexico. Really? Well, then I won't go to Cozumel. $1,500 to live comfortably in Mexico because Americans are driving up the cross. Check out Panama. All right, Donald Trump. It's a great thing about renting. If it's difficult and Americans have raised the rent, say, you know what? I think I'm just going to take off and go to Costa Rica for a while. Bye. Go where it works. Well, Elon is a freak because we don't need more humans. We don't need 64,000 unloved children born of rape in the United States draining our system that he certainly isn't interested in feeding or taking care of because he can barely do that with his own kids. So he just sounds like a pervert to me. I don't think any of that population crap is real. It's all made up crap. Of course the population is down. Oh, the evils of birth control. They're not. This is not a real argument. It's just men who are crazy. And when you're crazy, you think that you make sense. And they're all a bunch of rapists with a fetish. I swear this is what's going on with a breeding fetish. And so they're now obsessed. The sexual obsession with forcing women to have their babies. This is a fetish. It's a real fetish. It's not an issue because we want the population to dramatically diminish because there are no more jobs because they've been replaced, according to Elon Musk, the genius here, and he is a genius, I'll give him that. But by his own admission, there are no more jobs because they've all been phased out by AI. AI is going to be making your burgers at McDonald's in a very short amount of time. I mean, you've seen the AI technology from Elon Musk. There are no more jobs. What he is saying, and I actually think that this is an interesting thing that he's saying that As far as he knows, there's only one conscious being at this level of intelligence in the universe, and that's humans. And if a mega volcano were to hit, or an asteroid, this one bright light in the vast universe that is capable of self-awareness, etc., that as humans will cease to exist. So if we become multiplanetary, and if an asteroid should hit, or something like that, it wouldn't matter because humans would be living on multiple planets. And so the fear of extinction or the loss of life in the universe, his belief is that life in the universe is rare, if not existent at all. And so it just takes one asteroid to take us all out. So his thing is all about we have to preserve. But here is where that turns into a bunch of bullshit. If that's your problem, you've got plenty of eggs stored. We've got enough ovum to supply Earth with how many babies for trillions of years? We've got so many eggs stored. We've got so much semen stored. Now they're coming up with synthetic uteruses. You just take your synthetic uteruses and your genetic material and go live on Mars. You don't need to be raping 11-year-olds. We've got plenty of we have enough genetic material. People will sell their genetic material for a profit. Now they're coming up with synthetic uteruses that babies can grow in to make women obsolete in that respect. So fine, go make, you got your freaky little uterus, you've got your freaky little genetic material that you paid for on the World Wide Web, so go make your babies, right? So none of this is real. This need to oppress women, this need to force them to, it has nothing to do with what's going on globally. That the population needs to come down, that we already have enough genetic material if we wanted to make more humans, that we could simply take the genetic material to Mars or the moon or wherever and reproduce there. You don't need to be taking away women's birth control, you freak. Right? So it's not about that. It's about the fact that these people are perverts and they have a fetish. That's what and they want to control women's bodies. It's not about the population being lowered. It's this creepy, perverted desire to get control over women's bodies. That's what it's really going on. There's something here about Donald Trump in the cards attempting to flee like a thief a particular situation by the skin of his teeth. Elon Musk escapes a situation by the skin of his teeth. Oh, cheapest, didn't you say you were going to go to Dominican Republic or something? Trump attempting to flee a situation by the skin of his teeth. It could be because of his legal problems. Where he's at right now, 6 of Cups, coming back to the place he loves. His crossing card, taking the weapons of war away from his enemies. The first thing that Donald Trump is going to do when he's in office is to dismantle the powers of anybody who threatens him, starting with the press and then moving on to the judges. So he's going to go after Judge Chutkan. He wants to kill them. He wants to kill Judge Chutkan. He wants to kill these judges that did this to him. He's seething with hatred. He's planning his revenge. He is going to kill these. Now, that also should be proof that this country is finished. The fact that they would have somebody in the White House who's a president that would actually be threatening federal judges, facing insurrectionist charges, bribing prostitutes, and yet that hasn't blocked him from entering the White House. That you have people kissing the ring, right? Like Morning Joe, they went to kiss his ring. We will obey you. We will kiss the ring. that also is just more, it's just stacking up more and more proof that I need to leave this country, that this is not a place I need to be a part of. But you can see returns back to the place of old. I'm assuming that's the White House with a Six of Cups. And the crossing card is the Five of Swords, a desire to dismantle his enemies. And I always think it's going to be the press first. That he's going to go after the press first, and then he's going to go after the judges. What is above him at this time? The King of Cups. So a very wary, I think that's a very, well, let's see who that is. Somebody is above him who's a water sign. Could be a Scorpio. It would be Biden. Yeah, I don't have any faith in our rule of law. I don't have any faith that our country is interested in protecting us. I just think that this country's been over. There is no law. There is no justice. It's just a bunch of greedy, power-hungry rapists fighting for power. That's all this is. This is his move. Past placement, it's over. And he's headed towards the King of Wands. It appears there's more legal problems in store for Donald Trump. They're not done with him yet in terms of his legal problems. Where he is at right now, the hermit mode, heavy duty academics around him, like what they can make happen. So how can we legally continue to rape children? How can we legally continue to rob you blind and take away your hard-earned money? They're criminals, they're felons, they're mafia. They don't care about you, and they don't care about protecting your Social Security. But there is this academia around him, which to me is dangerous, because it's the one thing to be a fascist. It's another thing to be an organized, educated fascist, which is why Elon Musk is so dangerous. The opposition, the Nine of Pentacles, the opposition is confidence. The hope and fear, the Knight of Cups, Knight on the white horse. The final outcome for him, his time is limited. They're saying that the universe is pulling him out of there. According to these cards, as I read them, Donald Trump's time is coming to an end, because he pulled the Wheel of Fortune, which is the karmic wheel plays itself out. It can often be the completion of a karmic wheel. Regarding the academics, there's this heavy duty, almost brilliant men and women sitting there in his seventh house. I don't know what that's about. The opposition walks away. His hopes and fears, Four of Pentacles. This guy walks around like he's a poor beggar that never has any money. Isn't he supposed to be rich? Four of Pentacles, holding on to his coin. And then the final outcome over the karma. There is heavy duty retaliation. I see war. I see someone waging war against him. I see America possibly attacked. I see a war. This man is not the man that needs to be in the White House when we are potentially at war with a foreign adversary. Knight of Swords is war. There is a war, and I believe it's a war that's coming. That who is declaring war on him? Something's coming for Donald Trump. Something's coming for Donald Trump, because he's trying to flee, and this is coming after him. Helter skelter. I need to find out more about that. I don't know if we're about to get hit by Russia, and that's, it would be terrible if we wound up in World War III with him at the helm, right? What is Donald Trump so afraid of? Are they coming after him? It's almost looking like Putin's coming after him. What should I have for lunch, you guys? tuna fish? All right, let me see what's going on. Why is it showing Trump wanting to flee and somebody and this energy of like a violent energy coming after him? Okay, Two of Wands, his partnerships. He's reaching across the aisle trying to create new partnerships, possibly from overseas or outside the country. Walking away to find the ninth cup. Increasing confusion. I feel exhaustion and confusion around Donald Trump, as if he's confused. I don't know if he wants to do this anymore. It's more like the presidency gives him protection and then they go be the president and then he can go play golf and he's just a figurehead, because this guy's looking pretty confused. Eight of Cups is to be in the clouds. Nine of Cups is to walk away from what you've built. He's constantly defending himself. Seven of Wands against attacks. Here he is moving into the White House. 10 of Wands carries the heavy load, and it's also moved northeast, which would be, I guess, D.C. Refuses to negotiate. He's also very stubborn. More shenanigans and more illegal activity and more exploitation of the office can be expected. He's happy, but his family doesn't want to join him. It's more evidence growing against him by his opposition with the sun. Two of Swords, this is a stubborn man who, if he doesn't want to deal with people, he won't. Final outcome remains. Again, the Knight of Swords is coming for Donald Trump. Again, the Knight of Swords appears in the 10th house. Someone is coming for Donald Trump and they're going to finish him off. This is someone who should be concerned about assassination attempts by Russia more than the U.S. This guy feels trapped by his current situation. His opposition is really academic. There's this academia around him. Stabbed in the back. Issues with money and investments. Something very serious is coming after Donald Trump, and I think it's foreign. I think that for whatever reason, I don't know if he pissed off Putin or what happened, but there's something going on here, even to the point of maybe Russia felt that they're not getting what they paid for. Yeah. But expect some violent retaliation, possibly by Russia against Putin. Expect many people to be facing risk of assassination now that Putin is desperate. And yeah. What is a Mexican Jew? Well, a couple of things. In 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue, and many Jews were expelled from Spain in 1492 during the Inquisition. So they were looking for a new home. And part of what Columbus may have been doing was looking for a new home for the Jewish people who couldn't stay in Spain. He himself was probably Jewish. So what happened was that Jewish merchants got involved in the trade with the New World, and many people who were crypto Jews who had converted to Catholicism to avoid persecution under the Inquisition moved to Mexico during the Spanish conquest. So that was the first wave of Jewish people, was the Sephardim out of Spain. And then there was a mass influx after during World War II, when many Jews fled to Mexico, Central and South America to avoid the Holocaust. And so that's when we saw a migration of Ashkenazi Jews to places like Mexico City, and where we have the new synagogues being built. Trotsky was assassinated in Mexico. Nice Jewish boy, Trotsky. So you also had Russians, Bolsheviks fled. You had an immigration of Bolsheviks during the Bolsheviks revolution that went to Mexico, like Trotsky. And then you had a major immigration during World War II. So that is how the Jews came to Mexico. Thank you for the question. Malka. A nice name, Mamalka. You're eating leftover pizza with garlic spread instead of marinara. I'm feeling comfortably satiated. Ah, that sounds delicious. I love wheat. I love wheat. Well, I'm looking at what I have in my kitchen. What do you think I should do, folks? The tuna fish? Yeah. Put a little pickle in there. Yeah, my family was expelled from Spain in two. I'm Jewish on my mom. My mom's Jewish. I don't know. We didn't want to be Catholic, so we had to leave. Though I have some relatives who are Catholic. All right, folks. So, good luck with the decision. If you're like me, you're maybe just waiting and seeing, but now's a good time to start dismantling things in case you do realize you need to get out of Dodge. If you feel like you need to get out of Dodge, now is a good time for you to start dismantling things, simplifying your life so that if that happens, it'll be a quick, it'll it'll be a quick process if you have to flee the United States. That's what I'm saying. It's like just minimize, look at your options, don't buy or purchase or think you need to have massive amounts of money to leave. You could plan to just go spend 3 months visiting the Philippines, then 3 months. A lot of people are just hobnobbing, going from one country to another until this nightmare is over, if it's over at all. Poland is nice. I should check out Poland. Pizza was amazing. Okay, so a nice kosher tuna piva sandwich. Piva. We call it piva, Jewish people. Yes. It's not meat. It's fish, it's piva. All right, everybody. If you're trying to get in for a reading with me, I will be back Monday. If you need to see me as a physician or for tarot reading, all that information is below. If I move to Mexico, it'll be exactly the same. I'll probably keep the same phone number too because it's a California number. A lot of people are keeping their phones. Nothing will change. The truth is, if I hadn't announced that I was probably leaving, you'd probably never know. It would be the same setup. It would be the same backdrop. Nothing will change. Nothing will change. Other than the fact that I won't be having to live in a country with a psychopath as its president. Right? All right, everyone. Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. God bless. Peace out. Oh, you liked Morocco? Yeah, I should check out Morocco. Ooh, Rabat. Nice. All right, we're out of here. See you next time, everyone. Peace out.